Let me get this set up. Hey guys. Hey, Polygon Assassin. Hello, Aratasami. And hey, Monk. And hello, Alley Catnap. Cold is getting better. Alright, welcome everybody. This is part 4 of the Livestream original track called Glowing Mind. It's not attached to any particular project, just sort of, just doing it for the Livestream. Still trying to adjust all my light and my microphone here. So yeah, how's everybody doing? Sorry I wasn't here last week. Had a family emergency and then I got stuck in Maine because my flight got canceled. But I'm back and ready to write music. So let me know how you guys are doing. And let me see here. So this started, we'll give you guys a recap on what we've worked on here. So this started basically from nothing when I did this in the first episode, and all I had was this. I think I had this thing. And that might have been it. Anyway, so I started with this. I got a new synth sampler library called Omnisphere, and I've been just messing around with the presets, and that was sort of like part of the fun of doing this project. Anyway, so it started with this thing. And then I just sort of expanded on it, and I had no goal as to what it would sound like or where it was going. I knew it was going to use Omnisphere, and I knew it was going to have like a swing to it, like a swing beat. You can hear that like pretty prominently here. But everything else is just sort of like I came up with it on the fly and added to it. And it just sort of grew from there. I added a big section a couple of sessions ago that I actually cut out and replaced with what this part here, which is primarily what we're probably going to work on this week. Starts right here. So, hey, Retrocade. I'm glad you remembered to come by. I seem to get a lot of people who tell me that they, like, on Twitter and such, that tell me they just forget to come by. So anyway, we've got this part I want to do. So right here is a pretty strong transition, or rather there should be a strong transition and there isn't. So like it goes, we get a new chord progression that comes in right here at 69, and you can tell when you listen to it. But there's nothing that announces it, and nothing that makes it really exciting to transition. So we got to add stuff here, and I have an idea that I want to add more percussion. I want to add like a electronic drum kit there. So we're gonna load up battery, and let's see here. I think. Let's try this one. This has a great like snare. Love that snare. Okay, what do we have for? We have some delay on some of these. This has some sort of. Okay, drum shine. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at this. That's a great sound. Okay, so I want to add some reverb to this thing that we just added. Let's try doing that before we work with it anymore. So for that other one, we had the drum shine. There it is. Maybe we'll turn it down a little bit. So I just played a part here, and because we've been doing it with everything else, I'm going to quantize all of it. Actually, hang on. Before I do that, let me make sure I know what I'm doing. Yeah, Aratasami and hi Aratasami and Polygon Assassin. I know the timing can be a little bit weird, and I'm working on doing like I want to do another live stream during the week that's like at a much earlier time, so that we can it's a little more accommodating. Because yeah, I know it can be hard to make it to the live stream a lot. I'm gonna solo this and just work on the velocities of these drum notes. Oh, you know why? This is what's wrong with it. It's not quantized to a swing beat. There we go. Now it'll sound better. I think we want this too. Put another beat here. You know, let's I don't know, make something else that we can listen to here. Here too. So let me explain some of this. Like, this shows you like what you can do with digital audio is I can play a simple part and then embellish it after playing it, like by placing more notes. Hey, Narwhal. Now, so I want to do more flourish with the snare too. Mess that up. Does that sound good? Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so you can see, like, I made a simple drum beat, and then I added to it and made it more interesting. I'm not really sure. Let's see if we have any others. What else do we got on here? Whatever. It sounds alright. Let's move back here a bit. Now, I just need like a... we could try this, just the symbol here. I don't know if it'll sound good though. It sounds pretty good. So yeah, so I've been thinking of doing live stream on Tuesday, like at 9 or 10 a.m. And that's 9 or 10 a.m. Pacific time. So let me know if that sounds like more reasonable. Like if Tuesday sounds good, and if like 9 or 10 a.m. Pacific time sounds good to you. I definitely appreciate the feedback. All right. So normally, okay, so let me let you in on what I'm doing next here. So again, I want to make this a cool transition. Okay, so first of all, that kick is really weak. This is no good. Doesn't sound very cool in this. So we'll have to fix that, but we'll worry about that later. First thing I want to do is have like a build up here, like a rise, and then have the crash. Now, normally I do like a lot of the rises stuff later on when I'm like done, but this feels really important, so I'm going to add it in early. So we're going to do it right now. So Rev has a lot of cool rises. Here we go. I'm loading up Contact, and then these are different Contact instruments, and Rev is one of them, and it has rises, and they are super cool. Okay, so we're gonna do 1 bar. So you get all these great rises, and you can just sort of, and you can insert them wherever. I kind of like the simplicity of that one. It kind of fits with this. And we can just draw it in. We don't even need to perform it. Where was that? This one. So I hit it on the keyboard and find it here on the screen here. You can see it light up as I hit the key, and I'm like, okay. So then I can draw it in. Done. I think it's 1 bar. So okay, now let's hear what that sounds like. Okay, so that's a good start. It's a little too loud, so we'll turn it down to -5. Let's go back a bit. Let's maybe... What if we add the tails to it? So this has... You can add a tail, which is like... It's the same thing. But it has like a tail on the end of it. Usually I just load the tails up anyway because you can just have it cut off by ending it before the tail comes in. Let's try it again. Maybe a little bit quieter. Still don't really like it that much. Let's try a different... That's a little nicer. Maybe that'll work better. So we take this and just move it down. We got a new rise. Bam. Okay, that's pretty good. Still not entirely sure though. We're gonna go back a little bit for context. Alright, that sounds pretty cool. Hey Megan. And hello Matthias. Thank you guys for joining. What's this? Oh yeah, okay. Okay, so we decided don't really like this kick drum. It's kind of weak sounding. So I'm thinking of just muting it for now. Mute and whoops. No, I do not want to close. And mute that. Maybe we don't need a really heavy kick. I'm not really sure yet. Retrocade has a question. Have you ever worked with old school trackers? No, I have never worked with them. A very simple answer. I kind of want to get that that little portable Pico 8 machine, because Pico 8 comes with a tracker and like learn. I want to learn how to use it. I forget what the name of it is. It's something that Chipzil showed me. I don't remember what it is. Pico 8 portable. Oh, Pocket Chip. So look up Pocket Chip, and Chip is like, I'll just find where's the Pocket Chip? Anyway, it looks really awesome, and it has a tracker built into it. I never use trackers, but here we go. It looks awesome, and it would be cool to like learn trackers in this little portable device. Hey, Lateral Jump. Yeah, specifically about the music that I'm writing. For legal reasons, I can't take suggestions from the chat. I don't mind suggestions for like what to do on the show overall. Like if you have an idea for like a show topic or something, or if you want me to expand, like talk more about a particular thing I'm working on, please feel free. I don't mind answering questions. For sure. Actually, I'm not really sure where to go from here, so let's go back to the beginning, and I bet a lot of you haven't heard the beginning now that we've gone into the show a bit longer. Hey, thanks, Narwhal. I'm glad you like fragments. Lateral Jump is suggesting a show on common mistakes or what not to do, and that is a great idea. I would definitely like to do something like that, for sure. Let's listen to the whole thing from the beginning again so I can kind of get an idea of where to go from here. Well, you know what? I'm try taking this. I'm moving it back there. Whoops, that was not what I meant to do. Right here. Okay, so you saw me do some stuff earlier. Here it was. So there's kind of what is so far a bit of an awkward transition that I will fix eventually, but I thought maybe I'd try putting the rise back here to see what that sounds like. So we'll move back here. It's kind of cool. I'm going to leave it in for now. It might need to be a little bit quieter. Maybe just a little bit. Turn it down just a little. Alright, cool. So Matthias, I don't know if that's exactly how you pronounce your name or not. Let's go over some drum stuff for you. So let me compose another drum part for this. I even have a drum kit in mind. Let me load it up. It's going to take a minute because I don't quite remember what it's called. Groove Bias. Never mind. That didn't take very long at all. So Groove Bias is an awesome drum kit. Herodotus kit, I believe, is what we want. Okay, thanks for joining, Megan. Okay, so the Herodotus kit in Groove Bias is like one of my favorite drum kits. It sounds really good. So you guys might be familiar with, I believe it's called the Prunty Shuffle. What is that sample that got used in like everything in the 90s? I think it's the Prunty Shuffle. Anyway, Polygon Assassin asks a good question. Is Contact part of Complete? Yes. It is basically the flagship product of Complete, I would say. So it's based on... this drum kit, anyway, is based on a sample that was used a lot in a lot of different music. Yeah, Prunty Shuffle, I think. And it got sampled a lot, and so this sampling company, and I forget the name of it, it's whoever makes Shreddage, they found the original, not the exact drum kit, but they found the same model drum kit and the microphones that recorded it, and they recorded a digital drum kit to match that exact loop. And it sounds really cool. Oh, that's it. It's the Amen Break, not the Prunty Shuffle. I'm thinking of a different drum thing. The Amen Break. So look up the Amen Break on YouTube or something. Thanks, Bart. So we're gonna do something like that for this part. I'm gonna mute that other thing we have. So to start with a drum part, I usually record a very simple thing, which is the kick and the snare generally. And This is how a lot of like artists will tell you if you're doing like pure composing like on a computer or something. It's a good way to start with. Good thing to start with is the kick and the snare. So I'm going to record something like that. Don't like it. Hang on. Let's get rid of some of these other things so we can hear what we're doing better. So you can't see it, but I'm using my keyboard. Here, you can see my keyboard here. Using the keyboard to play the parts. So here, I'll put it back. I know that the audio is a little bit off, but so that's how I perform the parts. So now there are pads, I just don't use them. I find it much easier to just use the keys. So now we have this part with my terrible rhythm, and if you look closely, you'll see my let's zoom in a little bit so you can see it better. I don't use the drum pads, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't use them. I'm sure they're very useful. I just always use the keys, and that's what I'm used to. But feel free to like experiment with different things. I just find it annoying to try to map everything properly. All right, to keep with the theme of this track, we're going to quantize everything. Full quantize. And you'll notice I did 4 measures of this. So full quantize. Now let's hear what it sounds like. So it's not very interesting yet, but we're going to keep modifying it. So we can also add in some hi-hats in this too. With my terrible rhythm. So yeah, let's try. That sounded pretty cool, so let's just try recording over that. Here, hit record. So some of that was better than others. Don't need that as high. So then we go in here and we're going to fully quantize it. Maybe we'll just give it a little nudge and not make it perfect. And then I will combine these two. Now it's one thing. Look, now you can see all of it in one space. So now I'm gonna chop these ends off because I get anxiety from clutter. So I'm gonna get rid of those. So Lateral Jump asks, how far off in milliseconds can a note be from the beat, do you think? That is going to be entirely up to your intuition. You have to, if it's a higher BPM, you're going to have less tolerance for the how many milliseconds. Or if it's a really slow song, you'll have more tolerance. So you're just going to have to like use your intuition as you go. So, oh yeah, so I should probably explain that. So you have two ways to quantize, and in Cubase it's up this little Q thing here. A standard quantize will just snap everything to whatever grid you have set up, and right now I have a 16th note grid with a 50% swing to it, and you can even see, if you look closely, you can kind of see how they're uneven because there's a swing. And the other way is iterative quantize, and you set that up beforehand. I don't know where the iterative quantize thing is, but the idea is that instead of snapping it to the grid, it moves at each node it moves a certain percentage closer to the point in the grid that it's supposed to snap to. So it doesn't move it all the way; it moves it a certain amount. And basically you can get it infinitely closer by continuing to do an iterative quantize each time because the percentage doesn't change. So it gets 50% closer and then 50% closer and 50% another halfway. You know how it is. So those are the two methods for that, for quantization. And it's super important when you're doing electronic music. Polygon Assassin asks, how fluent are you with the piano? Well, I can use it. I'm not amazing with it. I spent some time learning to play piano, and I don't know, I spent like a year, and then I kind of stopped training myself as much. I changed my focus to like string instruments, to banjo, and then now guitar. So anyway, we've got this thing now. I think these notes are a little, whoops. I think these notes are a little too loud, so I can just highlight all of these and grab it. There's a little button here to scale all of them at once. And they all scale relative to each other, since it's not since it's like a logarithmic scale, I think. Or maybe I'm thinking of volume. Anyway, let's hear what that sounds like. Yeah, it's a little better. Maybe a little bit louder from there. Turn it up a little bit. Whoop. All right, so I want to take this part out. Or, you know what? It's better to not delete and to mute. Let's take that. So then after I've placed all my notes and I've quantized them, I start editing and adding things, like adding more flourish. So like at the end of, so we got two measures here. At the end of the second measure, I add a little bit more flourish to like the snare. I might even mute this so that the ride goes on for longer. I might even move this forward. What is that going to sound like? It might not sound good, but... maybe that sounds better. So you basically go through and like edit stuff to make it sound different. You experiment. You experiment until it sounds cooler to you, or closer to what you were imagining. I don't really like that. I know what I want to do. I want to add, I want to put this here. Unmute. What does that sound like? Yeah. Alright, and then we want another flourish here. It's a little quiet. I don't think I ever got to the point where I was learning classical pieces. I was mostly just learning beginner stuff and some video game music. I learned a lot of Chrono Trigger stuff on piano. And, hey, F-Kids. I'm not going to play banjo because it has literally been a couple years since I've played banjo. I have no skill anymore. I want to do like triplets here. I don't know how this is going to sound. Not 8th triplets, 16th. All right, so that gives you an idea of like my basic general like method for doing drum parts. I often play the part first and then embellish, essentially. So let's hear what that sounds like with everything else now that we've done that. Maybe too loud. Works. We wanted the drum shine. Turn it down a little bit. What does that sound like? Whoops, no, that's not what I meant to do. Here we go. Oops, let's see here we go. Lateral Jump asks, Ben, how concerned are you with counterpoint rules? All these notes in different tracks, are they all chord tones or many non-chord tones also? Mostly everything is chord tones. If I'm going to go outside of the chords, that's when I'm like thinking about melody. You generally see like sticking with the chords as your bass line and then moving away from them to make a statement. And that's how I get like everything to sound very harmonious. Anyway, I like what we're doing here. What do you guys think? Getting to this new part here. You can even do the rise again. But lateral jump, you got to remember that I'm not classically trained. Everything I've done is self-taught, and I learned music theory through books and practice. But I wouldn't say it's usually only one track that plays non-chord tones, but yeah, that's probably a pretty good rule of thumb at least to start with. You know, you gotta leave it up to your intuition and what sounds good. But like, okay, let's take a listen to this part here, right? So this is the driving chord progression. Right? So when we listen to, say, like this part, it's also in that same chord. And then this, as well, is in that chord. Like, they're pretty much only, yeah, if you look, you can see they're only hitting notes in the chord for that particular measure, and I'm sure these ones are too. Yeah, you can even kind of tell looking at the graphic of it. So the only things that go outside of it are like the bass line goes out a little bit, and actually in this case that's about it, I think. And in this particular track, I'm sort of making the bass line like a pretty expressive part. so it's okay for it to like go outside of the chord range. Yeah. Oh, copy of Signal 1. That was... Oh, that's the one with the real chiptune-y sounding thing, right? Yeah, so all these signal parts were ones I did, I think it was in the last session. So if you go back to the previous session, part 3 on YouTube, you can see me building these, and they are all custom-built signal engines. So... So yeah, I made all of them last week, so you should check on. Okay, this is the one that's like, they're really cool, like. For some reason the graphic doesn't always work, but, so we have, oh yeah, it's like a very low tone, and then a high tone of a square. So fun. And they all have a bit of swing to them. It's great. So let's go back again here. Try putting it up an octave there. Let's see. This I don't think is necessary. What if we did 1, 2? Yeah, you can't really hear it if we do that. So 1, 2. Oh, sorry, we got a question. Wondering how complex the chords get. Do you use a lot of 7th, 9th, sustained 4th? Oh, suspended 4th. Yeah, it depends on the composition. Like, say, in Starcrawlers, I used a lot of 7ths, which are basically my favorite chord, like a minor chord with a 7th on it. Like, find a, like that. I love that sound. Oh, there we go. Now you can hear me. So that is a C. See if like it's kind of upside down, but oh, you know what? I can load it up on this. So if you look, where's the keyboard here? So we got like C, D sharp, G, and then a sharp, and that's such a wonderful sound. So I use those as much as I can, but yeah, it totally depends on the composition. So Like, for example, I don't think FTL had a whole lot of like really complex chords. It was mostly simple ones. Star Colors had more complex ones. Dead Secret had a lot of like sevenths, and so did Gravity Ghost and ninths and such. So yeah, it just depends on what you're writing, I think. I want to go back and listen to this whole thing to get some more context. So here we go. And yeah, feel free to ask as many questions as you want. Like, that's part of why I do this, is to answer questions that you have. I'm trying to demystify composition, and also it's just fun to do this. Hey, Master Sword! Came just in time. I really like this so far. Actually, you know what? I think this still just sounds better. Oh, that's original. Boy, I love that bass. It sounded pretty awesome. What if we do this? And then... let's see here. Ooh, sounds hideous. Alright, I gotta figure out what to do here. Do we want this to build up to something again? I kind of want to, like, build up and then cut it out really close. Or really... like, really dramatically. So it gets quiet really fast. I don't know, though. Oops. You know what? I think I messed with this. Oh, yeah, I did. There we go. No wonder it sounded weird. I should set what key it is. So, let me try to explain what that is. What that's about. So, if for convenience, things like these rises... Whoa. Too many things. Okay. For convenience, these rises and a lot of other instruments will map functions to the keys and not just like notes. So like these rises, you know, it's each one of it's a different sound. It's not like a traditional keyboard. It's really just like a bank of samples, right? This other part of the keyboard, the red part here, determines pitch of what these sound like. So it's useful for like tuning something basically, and some of them do have more of a pitch to them. So anyway, yeah, that's what I guess I must have hit a key or something and gotten it out of pitch. So let's see here. This is pretty cool. I don't know, do we want this thing to end at this point? Where are we now? It's 4 minutes long. I'm not sure. Let's go back again. And further back.
Oh, and thanks, Lateral Jump. I'm glad you like the bass parts, because I like them too. Some of my favorite things to do with music production. Oh, you know what? Actually, I have a different idea. Let me get rid of this and this. You know what hasn't been around in a while is this part. So we're going to copy and paste. This need to be here. If we go up an octave. Oh, that's cool. Whoops, I didn't mean to pause there. Yeah, this is kind of cool, like bringing it back. What happens if we do another octave after that? Both of these going at once. It's kind of cool. Let's hear. We might have too many like build-ups here. Let's go back and like it starts here. Let's zoom way out.
Alright, so I just sort of improvised a part here with some descending notes. And we'll just keep this thing going. This is definitely a song about, like, keeping a groove and not necessarily, like, playing a particular melody or anything. It's okay, Narwhal. I'm thinking of, possibly ending it here. That top note here is like the note that's the most prominent and most interesting, and it is kind of a slow attack instrument, so I'm placing it a little bit ahead so that it comes in more prominently when the measure changes. Hey Jay, thanks. I'm glad you appreciate it, because yeah, I really like helping out, and it's good to know that people enjoy it and are getting something out of it. If we bring this back. Oh, I see what you're saying, lateral jump. Sorry, it took me a little while. You're saying I'm hearing several bars of the same chord, is that right? Yes. Pretty much stuck with one chord, which is C minor. Yeah, I think we should just stick with this kind of feel for this track, which is more about building a groove than being like a melodic story. Let's go back and listen to the whole thing. It's been about half an hour since we've done that. I kind of want to hear what it sounds like going back to the original part here. All right, here we go. Okay, so the pacing's a little weird. It keeps... There's like 3 build-ups and then it drops. But... I could reuse this. Could drag it over here. Here maybe. And then we'll have it play quieter and higher. That's kind of nice. That sounds really cool. Maybe a little bit louder? Yeah, it gives it a really good attitude near the end there. That's awesome. Okay, I got a couple of questions. Polygon Assassin asks, what's your favorite instrument in the song? I don't know, maybe this first thing from in the Omnisphere one. I don't even remember what it's called. Carousel Dream. Sounds really cool. Sounds cool. I like it. I think that's probably my favorite instrument by itself. Lateral Jump asks about ostinato, and I don't remember what ostinato means, so I gotta look it up. Continually repeated musical phrase or rhythm. Okay, yes. I do consider. So he's asking, do you consider many of these parts to be ostinato? Do you keep an ostinato repeating the same notes while different chords play over it? I seem to notice this a lot in music, but it's hard to do without it sounding bad. Or do you usually shift the ostinato with each chord change? Sorry for being convoluted. Yeah, so there are a lot of repeating parts. I mean, you can tell. And it's all about, one, having very good instruments so that your parts don't sound bad to begin with, because when you have like bad instruments, and you can kind of get away with using them if they don't repeat a lot. But really well developed instruments, like this, you can repeat a lot because it has a huge range of expression depending on the velocity. I'm just playing one note, but it sounds cool because you're hearing a lot of different sounds. So having repeating parts has a lot to do with that, being able to repeat a part and have it still sound interesting. The other thing comes from layering, just layering lots of different parts and swapping them in and out. I actually wrote an article about that in the blog. It's in my How I Compose Metro Molecule, and I talk about using looping parts in an interesting way. But I hope that answers your question. Anyway, let's go back here. Plus, we got these this other things, the guitarette thing. Yeah, we could repeat this as well. Drag this over here. Like right there. Maybe turn it down too. Maybe even move it up an octave like we did with the other thing. Let's try that. Looks like it's auto-saving. All right. Couldn't hear it there. Sorry about my cough, guys. Still recovering from the cold. Maybe it needs to play a little louder. Whoop. Move that up a little. Not entirely sure of this yet. Let's maybe return it to its original state here and see how that sounds. Pretty cool. Maybe not exactly what I was hoping for. What does this sound like? What about this part? Does that sound any better in the same spot? This out of the way, put this there. Sounds better. Okay, let's go back again to here. actually want to have this over here. We really want to keep extending this? Let's try it. Sounds so good. Don't want it to stop. Alright. Let's go back here. And by the way, if anything I'm doing is like doesn't make sense to you, feel free to ask what it is I'm up to, and I will explain. Because the whole point here is so that you guys can learn about what I'm doing. Still not convinced. What's this sound like? Yeah, it'd be fun to make a game that's based on a particular album or something. I think Chromatic T-Rex is probably would make the weirdest game. Dark Window is pretty much tailored to be a game. Sounds pretty cool. Lateral jump. Did I say Dead Secret or Dark Window? I don't. My brain isn't working so great. Dark Window is not a game. It was just an album I did, and it's been very, very difficult for me to communicate to people that it's a solo album. Everyone looks at it and thinks it's part of a game. Dead Secret, however, is in fact a game soundtrack, and I may have just misspoken and said Dead Secret instead of Dark Window. But yeah, Dark Window is not a game soundtrack. It says right in the description for the album. But it's basically written as though it were a game soundtrack. Polygon Assassin is mentioning somebody goes like doo-doo-da-doo or something, and Ben has to write a small song based on that. I'm not entirely opposed to that idea. I've actually been thinking of doing something like that, maybe for a future live stream where we lift our rules about not taking suggestions from the chat, and I may take some piece from like a submission from somebody and work it into a song, or multiple submissions. It's all kind of like vague formed ideas at this point, but it might actually happen. Thanks, Lateral Jump. I will see you here next week, hopefully. Alright, so let's go back. I think we're going to wrap it up here. We'll go back and listen to the whole thing. You guys come up with any questions. Hey, Chocobo Dundee. And Aratasami is asking, couldn't you create some form of contract to bypass the suggestions problem? If you have something official, it should be fine or not. So I don't really want to make my viewers have to sign some kind of contract just to watch. I want this thing to be accessible for everybody, and I don't want to like force everybody to do that. So the point of the no suggestions thing is that there is like a legal precedent for somebody to make a suggestion in the chat and then later claim ownership rights of partial ownership rights of what I made because they made the suggestion, and it could go into like a very obnoxious legal battle that I wouldn't want to go into. So I just say no suggestions and just leave it at that, and I can focus on making cool stuff and teaching you guys and sharing information with you guys. And like I said, there may be exceptions. I may do specific shows where I take suggestions and release stuff for So that's definitely something in the future. Monk says, I saw someone ferreted out people uploading bits of the FTL soundtrack onto Steam Workshop for Stellaris. Oh yeah, somebody pointed that out to me. A whole bunch of people are just uploading the FTL soundtrack onto the Steam Workshop, which is illegal distribution. It's annoying, but it's everywhere. The piracy's all over the place. I will try to shut it down on the Workshop. I just haven't gotten around to it. But I'll get to it at some point and try to fix it. But it's like a Hydra, like you stop some people and then other people just upload new stuff to take its place, and there's no way I can keep up with it all. So I don't work too hard to try to get rid of all the pirates. It's kind of difficult. On Steam, it's a little bit easier, I guess, because it's like right there on Steam already to purchase. So it's a little bit like easier to target. But anyway, yeah, it's annoying, but there's not much I can do about it. I don't have a lawyer or a legal team to go after everybody who illegally distributes my music. Anyway, let's listen to this thing. Feel free to ask any more questions while this is playing, and when it's done, I'll answer more questions, and then we'll cut for today. This is pretty much done, but we'll do a polish pass next episode. I think we'll go back and we'll do some more mixing and add some more flourish to it and give it a proper ending, and then we'll probably be done. Alright, cool. So yeah, next week we'll do proper ending, and we'll fix it up a little, do some more mixing on it. Get it finished, basically. And so we got some questions. Monk asks, made me curious about how you go about your copyrights. Do you go through ASCAP or something similar? Actually, I don't do anything. Copyright is automatic when you make something, but at some point I will probably have to like register with ASCAP or BMI or one of those music rights organizations. I don't know. I don't really worry about it too much. Someday, but it's not really priority. So okay, so oh yeah, Master Sword. I have also met lots of people who, you know, will just gleefully pirate anything without even thinking about it, and there's a lot of reasons for it. One reason I think is a lot of those people just don't know anybody who creates content. They don't. They're so separated from it. Like all the movies and music and everything. It like all the stuff just comes out of this magical like nether realm of art, and they to them it's just this. They don't why pay for it when you don't have to, and to them they don't see a victim or anything, so they just like whatever, I'll just pirate it. That's definitely one reason. Another reason is that they picture all creators being insanely rich already and don't need their money. They're like, oh, they don't need my money. Like, they already make $1 bajillion or whatever, which obviously is not true, but some people don't know that. Especially people who are not connected with, like, the art creation, like, creative world. They won't see that. And then, of course, there's, like, category 3, which is, like, people who think they're just entitled to free stuff. And that like, what can you do? You can't really solve that. My camera's all weirdly blurry. There we go. So, yeah, it's always good to try to encourage friends and, you know, just tell them like, hey, I know people who create content and they make a living on this, and wouldn't it be cool if we lived in a world where content creators were paid what they were worth? And like were paid for their work, and everybody would pretty much agree with that. If you say that to them, it's really hard for them to disagree, and usually those arguments break down as soon as you bring that kind of thing up. Like don't we philosophically want to have artists be paid for their work? And that sort of is that's a hard argument to disagree with. People will do it though, of course, but it's not difficult. And the other thing is like people will pirate, like, say, like, I don't know, Avengers movies or whatever, and they're like, well, obviously they make billions of dollars or whatever. Obviously they don't need me, but and that's problematic too, because sure, like, obviously the Avengers movie like makes billions of dollars, and they don't necessarily, like, if you're pirating it, you're probably not hurting them. But by pirating it, you're taking, so these movie companies rely on these big movies so that they can make smaller movies and more interesting movies, and those are the movies that get hurt when you pirate big budget movies. Since there's less and less money going to the movie company, they're less likely to put money into smaller projects and more interesting things. And that's why when you get like a really cool movie like Cloud Atlas and it fails, they just are like, well, forget it, we're not going to make cool movies anymore. And by the way, you have to see Cloud Atlas if you haven't seen it yet, because it's really cool. Anyway, I think that about wraps it up. Oh yeah, I don't like AdBlock either. I've literally never used AdBlock in my entire life. It's really not that difficult to not use AdBlock. So anyway, yeah, thanks everybody for joining, and I'll be here on next week. Whoops, I don't know what I'm doing here. Okay, I will be here next week, next Saturday, to do another one of these, and we'll probably finish this up. So it'll be part 5 and maybe the last part of doing this track. That would be awesome. I'll be here Tuesday and Thursday for gaming live streams. Allison and I will be playing Resident Evil on Tuesday, and Joe and I will be playing Dark Forces again on Thursday, and it'll be awesome. And yeah, I'll be back on Saturday. And yeah, I will see you guys later. Thank you all for joining. Please, whenever I tweet about this, feel free to retweet and tell people about it, because I really want to get more people involved. So, yeah, thanks, Danger Dan. Please come to the next one. I really love doing this, and I want more people to enjoy it, so yeah, please tell your friends. Let everyone know. And, yeah, I will see you next week. All right, see you later, everybody. And stop streaming.